LFA 131, Arguetta versus Silva in the bantamweight division. That is the 5-round main event between Arguetta and Diego Silva. We got Darius Flowers coming in. I mean, literally he fought like last week or 2 weeks ago. He's fighting again against Tim Hiley. Jalen Fuller, another guy that fought literally a week ago, literally 2 weeks ago. Now he's fighting Meetingbeck Auralboy Ulu in the welterweight division. Then Tim Hiley versus Darius Flowers. We got Hamza Saleem, Roland Dunlap, Keegan Ganrich, Austin Lichen, David Evans, Gary Kunkel, Nick Klein, Tristan Overveeg, and then Chrissy T. Cuenco, and then Leslie Hernandez. I already know I messed up a lot of those names right there, but we'll deal with it later on in the video. We'll go into the first fight here in the women's strawweight division. Christy T. Cuenco versus Leslie Hernandez in the strawweight division. I'm just going to call her Christy. She has not fought in a while. That's first off. She has not fought in 4.5 years. And she's fighting Leslie Hernandez, a very young opponent. I don't know exactly how young she is, but I'm assuming around that 23, 24-year-old range, somewhere around there. She's a good boxer. She's got very, very solid striking, and I think that's what's going to be the main way for her winning this fight, keeping the fight on the feet at range on Christy, and just outstriking her for 3 straight rounds. She's got a lot of submission wins back in 2011 and 2017. I think the fight stays in the feet, and I'm going to expect a knockout win. This is kind of a setup because who in the world is coming back after 5 years to fight Leslie Hernandez, an up-and-coming young prospect in the LFA women's strawweight division? I think it's kind of a setup fight in the LFA. I'm going to go Leslie by a knockout right there. The betting odds for the fight, I'm assuming Leslie's going to be the favorite. Let's see. Oh, wow. Leslie's a 4-1 favorite right there. Started at 3-1. So that is the first pick on Leslie Hernandez to win that fight. Nick Klein and Tristan Overveeg in the middleweight division. Now, Nick Klein he's pretty decently far into his career so far. 2 wins and 0 losses. Only 1 loss, which was on his amateur MMA career to Niall Barting by a first-round knockout. Very legit guy there. Other than that, he's got a lot of finishes on the regional scene. Even fighting in the LFA in his amateur MMA career, getting a lot of finishes. So I do believe either way, whoever wins this fight, Tristan or Nick Klein, it's going to be a finish. Nick Klein is going to go out there, try to keep the fight on the feet and knock out Tristan, or if he does get taken down, look for a submission on the ground. But that is how Nick Klein is going to win the fight. The way Tristan Overveeg is going to win the fight, how he did pretty much last time, and take the fight down and just ground and pound the heck out of his opponents. He had a very good amateur career himself, only losing to an undefeated 5-0 Zach Scroggin, and then beating a lot of other very legit guys, even a Thomas Herrera by a first-round TKO. He's got very good wrestling, very good ground and pound. I'm definitely going to go towards Tristan Overveeg to win the fight by a ground and pound TKO. Gary Kunkel and David Evans in the featherweight division. Going to be a good fight. I think either way it's going to be probably like a fight of the night type of fight here. Gary Kunkel, 4 wins and 1 loss. Got armbarred against Jose Aguao, literally with no time left on the clock, and every other win being a submission win. David Evans, pretty much all of his wins are coming by submission as well, but he's got a few knockout wins mixed in there as well. But he's not really fighting the best opponents on his professional MMA career, but as an amateur, the man's fighting some studs. You look at the guys that he's fighting. I mean, Kevin TV, a UFC fighter, Abdul Hussein, a guy he lost to by split decision. This guy lost to Mohamed Mokayev, a UFC fighter in his last fight. The youngest UFC fighter right there. He also fought some other solid guys. Dylan Gorgiev right there, another very legit guy in the amateur MMA organization of IMMAF. But yeah, he's very legit on the ground. Gary Kunkel is also very legit on the ground. But when you have 2 guys that are very good on the wrestling, very good on the grappling, kind of comes down to who has the better striking. And for this one, I think it's going to be David Evans. I think there will be times where we'll see some grappling and some wrestling mixed in every now and then, but David Evans should definitely go out there and outstrike him to a decision right there. I got David Evans by a unanimous decision. Keegan Ganrich versus Austin Lichen in the lightweight division. Austin Lichen, I think he's going to win the fight. He did lose to Nate Jennerman by guillotine right there, but it's not like Keegan's like a super good grappler. Going to go out there and submit him by guillotine in the first round. He does have an arm bar, but it was over a 0-1 1 opponent. I believe that would be his main way of winning, would be some fluke submission on the ground or something like that. But Austin Lichen is pretty much better everywhere. In the striking, he's a lot better in my opinion. In the grappling, he's also a lot better. But it's one of those fights where one of the guys is gonna get finished by submission in the first or second round. They both have been finished in all of their losses, I do believe, except for that decision to Evan Elder. That is very surprising, not getting finished by Evan Elder. That's very legit right there, but I do believe someone will be getting finished in this fight. Austin is going to be the better grappler, so I do think he takes the fight down, and he's going to rear naked him in the first or second rounds. Roland Dunlap and Hamza Saleem in the middleweight division. Hamza with 5 wins and 4 losses, coming from the light heavyweight division, fighting, some decent guys. Davion Franklin, Grant Neal. I kind of get the guys mixed up in Grant Neal and Davion Franklin, but Christian Edwards as well is a very, very solid guy. Did lose by second round rear naked choke submission. Lost to Grant Neal by a unanimous decision. So he's not getting finished by Grant Neal, which is a very legit thing to do because Grant Neal is a very, very legit opponent. So the only guy that he's not finishing are Jimmy Lugo, Hamza Saleem, and then Christian Edwards. So that's pretty nice to see that he's not getting finished, at least in that fight. In this fight with Roland Dunlap, I'm actually going to expect the fight to go all the way. Yes, he got submitted by Christian Edwards right there. Yeah, Roland Dunlap is coming off that crazy slam TKO from Obinwa Ikebuna, but he didn't get the finish after that. I think that was kind of a fluke TKO win from Roland Dunlap. I think if he didn't get that TKO like that, it would have went all the way to a decision. So I think this one goes all the way to a decision. I think in terms of the striking, Roland Dunlap will have a slight edge. He's got that karate style background where he's kind of just bouncing around like a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, just jabbing right cross, those body kicks, front kicks, and things like that. And then he's also got the really good wrestling background. So I think in this fight, he's going to keep it very even on the feet, just go in and out, in and out, in and out, ever so slightly mixing those takedowns every now and then, and he's going to win the fight by a unanimous decision. Jalen Fuller and Oralbe Ulu, I'm not going to try to pronounce that first name, in the LFA welterweight division. Jalen Fuller only losing to Bruno Assis by a unanimous decision, but beating Tristan Vines by knockout, Miles Amos by front choke, Gabe Rodriguez by knockout, and then Gage Saunders by a submission. Ulu did lose to Khalid Satouev, who is an undefeated 8-0 prospect in the ACA. He's got really good wins over Payman Hasiev by unanimous decision, and some other good wins over undefeated Shamil Mutalimov and another guy, I guess you can say undefeated at the time, but he's no slouch. I mean, a lot of people are going to look at some random guy coming from what country is this from? Kyrgyzstan. They're going to see this guy's record and they're going to be like, he's coming off a few 0-0 guys. But these 3 guys right here, that really showed how good of a fighter he is. He went out there, took the fight down, and TKO'd Shamil Mutalimov. He lost to Khalid Satouev right there, but Khalid is a very, very legit guy over there inside of the ACA. Now he's fighting Jalen Fuller. Jalen is the taller, lengthier, better striker, better kickboxer, but the wrestling does go in the advantage of the Kyrgyzstan fighter in Oralbe Ulu. So it's weird. Jiu-jitsu submission game goes Jalen Fuller. Power, height, reach goes Jalen Fuller. So it is very, very even right here. The wrestling could come in handy for Ulu. He could go out there and just grind out a decision with that wrestling. I'm going to go Jalen Fuller. I think he keeps the fight on the feet, and I don't think he finishes him. If he was not able to get finished by Khalid Satouev right there, he's not going to get finished by Jalen Fuller. Jalen is a finisher, which is why it's going to be such an interesting fight. I don't know if he's going to get that finish or not, but I'm going to go Jalen Fuller by a unanimous decision right there. Keeping the fight on the feet, using that height, using that reach, jab, and 1-2-in, and things like that. Every time that Ulu goes for a takedown, it's going to be kind of mixing in the grappling and the jiu-jitsu, possibly lands a submission or something like that. Very, very interesting fight in the the LFA. I kind of want to see these guys in the UFC though, but in the LFA welterweight division, Darius Flowers and Tim Hiley in the middleweight division. Darius is a lot smaller, a lot less in reach. He literally fought, 2 weeks ago, which is absolutely insane. I still don't know how he fought 2 weeks ago. That is still crazy. Before that, fought 2 weeks ago. What in the world? Darius Flowers is such an active fighter in this LFA middleweight division. Now he's fighting Tim Hiley on another short notice fight. Tim Hiley, he did lose to some legit guys. Jamal Pokes by unanimous decision. Jesse Murray by unanimous decision. And then Brendan Allen by a rear naked choke submission. It's an interesting fight. Darius is going to be that finishing type of fighter. If you look at his last couple of fights, knocking out Daniel Gadley right there, getting a decision on Tim Karen. A knockout win on John Kennedy, knockout win on Jonathan Thompson. He's either getting the knockout or he's kind of getting knocked out or submitted. And for this fight with Tim Hiley really isn't that finishing type of guy. He's got a few finishes up his sleeves. He could go out there and land like a knee down the middle when he's going for a takedown or something like that. He could land the knockout. I really don't know. I have a feeling it could go to a decision here, but I think the wrestling and grappling is going to be very even. It's going to be mainly a striking fight, and the fact that Darius Flowers is going to be the smaller, less lengthy guy, he's going to have to close that distance, and Darius Flowers is kind of going to eat some shots coming in. So he will land the more powerful shots, the more effective shots than Tim Hiley, but I think Tim Hiley is going to land more volume. He's going to land more shots as Darius is coming into range, and he's going to win the fight by a decision right there. Dan Arguetta and Diego Silva in the bantamweight division. 5 rounds in the bantamweight division. Literally like the same age for both guys here. Both 28 and a half years old. Daniel is going to be the better wrestler. He's going to be the better grappler. Striking wise, Diego is very solid. 14 wins, 6 losses. Getting a few submission wins on his record. I don't think any knockout wins. Maybe like 1 or 2. Yeah, 2 knockout wins on his record. Probably one of these very, very early wins back in like 2014. But he's not a finisher. And in this fight with Daniel Arguetta, Daniel can literally just go out there and take the fight down over and over and over again. Control the fight on the ground and win a decision. Because Diego Silva is not a finisher. He doesn't have the cardio as Daniel Arguetta. He doesn't have the wrestling as Daniel Arguetta. He doesn't have the grappling as Daniel Arguetta. And his cardio is going to really go down the drain the more times that Daniel Arguetta just continuously takes down Diego Silva over and over and over in this fight. So I'm definitely going to go Diego Silva to win this fight. I think he controls the fight on the ground for probably 3 rounds, and he can possibly get a finish, but I think the fight actually goes all the way. I'm going to go Daniel Arguetta by 49-47. I believe that's where the judges would be. 49-46 unanimous decision in the LFA bantamweight division. Then finally Arguetta will get a shot inside of the UFC octagon, some short notice fight or something like that. But Dan Arguetta by a unanimous decision. Those are the predictions. Dan Arguetta decision, Tim Hiley decision, Jalen Fuller decision, Roland Dunlap, guess what, decision, Austin Lichen submission there. David Evans, I got Tristan Overvig by knockout, and then Leslie Hernandez right there. Those are the predictions for LFA 131. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go!